But there is a turning, a fourth turning or whatever. There's a pattern. We talk about this every episode. We're trying to figure it out. There's something happening now that's happened before. That's historically documented. I mean, I always cite Salem or McCarthyism. That's what it feels like to me. But there is a point where people just go batshit fucking crazy. And I wanted to ask you, that's why one of the things I want to ask you, when you're talking about the pole shifting or whatever, do you think the madness is part of that?
I can't prove it. This is literally...
Yeah, just a theory.
It would make sense, actually. If the geomagnetic poles, which influence life on Earth, including birds, insects, the biggest mammals on Earth, whales, salmon, if their lives are dependent on the geomagnetic poles for orientation, this is how humpbacks
for orientation,
go.
Yeah, they would be
travel tens of thousands of miles and then return to virtually the same spot that they did. Same thing with salmon. Within meters of where they were born, they will return to throw their eggs down.
Because they were programmed for regeneration and to replicate.
Well, they're sensing something.
Right.
That's not explainable.
Right. Like some sort of sixth sense that we just can't wrap. Future science will, identify it. But since there's scientific evidence that the poles do influence life on this Earth, what's to say that it doesn't influence us? Because people are going crazy. I don't even get it. I'm like, this is I'm looking around. I'm like, I talk to people do you see what's going on here? This is deteriorating. Yeah. And it's really crazy. I know skeptics will be like, well, maybe it's the internet. Well, the internet's been around for a little bit and it didn't start off too crazy. I don't know. I just feel like in my gut, for whatever it's worth, might not be worth anything, but I'm like, I just sense that something's coming and that I'm living at this point in time for a reason. At least I want to believe that way. It's like that saying, live your life like it's a movie.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, we're living in history, so I'm embracing it. I'm like, this is whatever's the future of humanity is right now being determined. The future is not certain. I think things will get a lot worse before they get better because that's typically how things go historically. For example, for the masses to actually stand up and do something about the corruption that's going on.
And tyranny is the right word. You were going to say it.
Yep. Usually, historically, there is no revolt until people go something like 9 meals or without 9 meals, which is 3 days of food. So usually it's not, because right now things. How do I put this? I was born in 1984, and I never would have imagined things would be the way they are now with the corruption. Could you imagine if all the World War II veterans were alive today in their prime to see this? Would never have happened.
Never.
And so it's I just think that it won't be, now that we have our internet, I can order food to be delivered to me. I could just I could play a video game. I could distract myself with videos. I can just do anything else to avoid the confrontation that will inevitably come. And so it's not going to be till people get desperate, they see their kids starving, that they'll do something. But don't worry, that's where the World Economic Forum and the digital currency is going to come in to save the day, and that's how they're going to do it. Let me give my big prediction.
Let's hear it.
The collapse of the United States dollar is imminent. I made a video about this in July of 22, where I said it was probably going to come more later that year. I was wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. But when I look at BRICS, when I look at the removal of the petrodollar, it is now certainty. It is a mathematical certainty the U.S. dollar is losing its power and it's going to accelerate through the next year as these measures go into place. And so with that being said, once we're all impoverished and inflation goes through the roof, for real through the roof, to where you can't afford a meal, the powers that be will come in and save the day with don't worry, we got you. It's a digital currency, all is well.
Yeah.
Here's your mark of the beast. And then they own you. Once that digital currency is in place, it is over. The social credit system will be there. It's already being exercised in China. And so I am very fearful of what's to come.
Yeah, you're dead on. You're over the target. Probably going to get a hit piece.
I am a conspiracy theorist, so
we have to have our own currency. Definitely, the people.
Yeah. Well, gold,
the citizens
ammunition,
have to have our own currency.
Food. I think we're going to have to.
Well, they said it was going to happen in Texas first. The first gold-backed currency for the United States.
Texas is, I follow Texas a lot.
It's going to have to happen that we have our own American currency.
Right. That reminds me, go to rblikesgold.com.
You know what I think?
What?
That they're going to make that illegal. Because you just
they probably will.
They will, because think about it. With these 87 additional thousand IRS agents, I'm like, okay, are they going to check Venmo payments or are they...
Yeah, they're going to do Venmo.
Yeah. Well, they are, but what? Are they doing that to just do more audits? because they're giving them guns,
Right.
literal M4s.
Yeah, they'll just shoot us.
Right. And
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
going to kick your door down.
yeah, they kick
and
your door
shoot
down.
you.
Like, I heard you paid for something gold. Watch, they're going to make gold illegal. They'll make Bitcoin illegal. The only thing you'll
I
be
knew
able...
they were going to do that to Bitcoin, but I didn't think they were going to do it to gold.
Well, I don't know that they will. This is just my...
But that'd be
This is what I think,
smart.
maybe. Yeah,
That'd
well,
be smart of them. If
You have
they
to
did.
say allegedly and look at the camera. That's what we do.
Allegedly.
yeah, which one? This
That's
one,
your
right?
camera.
Allegedly.
That's what we do.
Allegedly TM.
Here. Yeah. No, you're
Conspiracy
covered.
TM. I don't know. Hey, listen.
What
like I
bigger
said before-
conspiracy theory is there than the Big Bang Theory, though? Right?
Yeah,
The scientific accepted thing. It's the most bullshit conspiracy theory I've ever heard.
it is.
It's
It makes
crazier
no
than anything
sense.
we do, right?
Like, because how do you have something from nothing?
You don't.
You
It makes
don't.
no sense. And I think that it just goes beyond the human brain's ability to comprehend. And
Yeah,
the same,
it just turns off at the point where it skips the logic.
Mhm.
And then you have to go off
right?
because you can't try to understand insanity. It's
Mm.
not. That's what we're not. We're not here to live in an insane web of lies. And Try
Right.
to figure it out.
And speaking,
We're supposed to just be here living life and loving it.
yeah, we're supposed to literally, we're kids, we're
Mhm.
children. Like, think about it. Playing is fun, and life shouldn't be quite this awful. I won't say the word
Shouldn't
awful.
be. It could be
but
so much better for
could.
everybody.
there could be a golden age. I believe it happened in the past, and I believe there will be one in the future.
I do too. I think it's very close.
Yeah.
As soon as all the women get sick of the bullshit,
Yeah.
it'll change in a heartbeat.
What's it going to take for the women to get sick? Like, over the limit sick?
Of the bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's happening now because of them coming for the kids and the kids
Not
of
the
single
young-
mothers.
Yeah.
Young women, though, the Swifties, they don't give a shit. They're
Oh, them. Yeah, well, they can't ever get pregnant because they're vaccinated. So it's a whole different
so
thing
they'll
for
die
them.
off in one generation. We just have to
So,
put up with
yeah,
Taylor
you don't
Swifties
even
for
need
one.
to worry about
Right.
them. They're
But
marked.
the young voter is my biggest concern. That is my fear. When I go to bed at night, that's what I think before I close my eyes is the 18 to 24-year-old is so stupid.
Indoctrinated.
Yeah,
They don't even know. They
totally
don't get it.
indoctrinated.
They don't.
Same way I'm an
No, they
Iraq
don't
War
know.
veteran. I used to get in debates out of high school with, when you're doing the Iraq War invasion. I used to yell back and forth with friends. We'd debate this stuff and like justify the invasion and George W. Bush's policies and everything. And now I've done such a 180, but I know what it's like to have believe in something. Like, there's no way this is a lie. Of course there's WMD. Just they haven't found him yet. You don't understand. Of course they would have hit him. What's wrong with you?
Do you know Jimmy went to Iraq, Mom?
Huh?
He served in Iraq after 9/11.
I volunteered. I believe George Bush's lies. I was inspired by. All right, so my father is a Vietnam veteran, although he was basically drafted. Both my grandparents, World War II veterans. I saw too many movies as a kid, and I'm like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get a medal. I'm gonna. And I saw
Save
9.
America.
Yeah,
fucking
I'm gonna be like, I saw
Septemberist.
the movie. I'm like, and then I was a high schooler on 9/11, so I was
Yeah.
profoundly affected because I'm like
Yeah.
a young man, a kid, but like 17 years old is an impressionable age.
Yeah,
And
it
so-
is. That's who goes to war.
Yeah.
It's all kids. It's all. So when I finally got to Iraq, I was 25, and I was on the higher end of age. I mean, there's plenty of people older than me, but a vast majority were like 20. There were so many people there that were barely 21.
It's crazy.
Kids. But anyway, so that was part of my awakening. Is once I learned once I finally came to grips, like, oh my God, this wasn't like they didn't screw that up. It wasn't like, oh well, bad intel and darn. No, it was like, oh, there was lies told based on almost zero evidence, and in some cases zero evidence. And so it's like once I realized, I'm like, oh my God, seeing the entire media as well as the government all in on that lie, it really wakened me up. I'm like, things are not as they seem. And then I go down the rabbit hole from there and various conspiracies. I learn about Operation. What's the
Paperclip.
Mockingbird.
Operation? Yeah, Mockingbird is the one I was looking at.
Yeah.
Mockingbird, Paperclip, as well as what's the one where they were gonna
Monarch.
which one's that?
Operation Monarch.
where they're going to blow
I don't know.
something up.
The one Woods, something Woods. It's where
Oh,
they're gonna,
Northwoods.
Thank
Operation
you.
Northwoods, yeah.
Anyone that's listening hasn't heard of this. The
Google
CIA,
it.
they were Google this.
That's her
the
line.
actual government documents that they were going to blow up airliners and blame it on Cuba so we could go in and do an invasion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. I'm like hearing that. I was like,
Right.
Oh, you
God bless
poor
Alex
kid.
Jones for blowing the lid on that. Have you talked to Alex Jones?
Oh yeah, we're friends
we
with
love
him.
him. We can't wait to have him on.
He's
Yeah.
coming on when
He's
we get
been
back to
put
Texas.
back, where he belongs. We put a lot of energy into that too, because
Mm.
we just love him, Uncle Alex. He's the uncle at all the family dinners that's
Yep.
telling the truth. Everybody calls him crazy, but he's always right.
Oh, you see